Count 1, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
Two juries, but the same verdict for the two men on trial for a 20-year-old murder case in Manistee County. The juries found Peter Peterson and Robert Knoss guilty of first-degree premeditated murder.
It's a story that 9 on 10 News has been covering since there were first charges issued for the death of Vincent Adamczyk. Adamczyk was last seen in 1995, but wasn't reported missing until 2002. Investigators have never been able to find his body. In 2011, Rosemary Skritsky was charged with his murder, but she took a plea deal in order to testify against Peterson and Knoss. The two were charged with first-degree murder last year. 9 on 10's David Leiden has been following the trial and joins us live with tonight's top story.
Michelle and Kevin, it was an emotional day of closing arguments in this 20-year-old cold case. In the end, both men were found guilty of premeditated first-degree murder. The prosecution asked the jury to find both men guilty of first-degree murder.
And I'm sure when he was sitting at that picnic table, you got to use your imaginative powers. This is 20 years ago. I'm sure Pete Peterson, when he was sitting at that table, didn't have a suit on.
Peterson's defense brought into question the testimony of many witnesses against their client.
One's an admitted liar, Rosemary Skrinsky. Even the prosecutor brought out the fact that she's a liar. The other is Mr. Knoss, who, in my mind, committed the murder.
Knaus's defense said their client was scared of Peterson and did not agree to participate in the murder. Knaus also goes by his middle name, Scott.
Scott wasn't only shocked and terrified, but he was morally twisted with what happened. His father figure shot his best friend.
In the end, the jury found both men guilty of first-degree murder. It's a day Adamczyk's sister has been waiting on for nearly 2 decades.
It's a closure. I mean, you know, when you have somebody pass away and you know they're gone, you still worry about things, you know. I often wondered what happened to him, how it happened.
But perhaps, most importantly, she recalled the love she still has for her brother Vince.
He used to do stuff to me. He'd go like this, he'd go peachy peachy, which meant I love you.
Both convictions do carry mandatory life sentences. The sentencing date for both men has not been determined. Live in Manistee, David Leiden for 9 on 10 News at 6.
And now we'll look at the bottom line in the Pete Peterson guilty verdict. The last time anyone saw Vincent Adamczyk was 2 decades ago. Peterson was originally charged with open murder in 2012, but that charge was later dismissed. 2 years later, in 2014, both Peterson and Robert Knoss were charged with first-degree murder. Witnesses say it all started with a fight between Peterson, Knoss, and Adamczyk, but Peterson took it further and things got violent. And today, the jury found Peter Peterson guilty of premeditated first-degree murder. Peterson and Robert Knoss each had their own jury during the trial. Knoss's jury came to the same conclusion, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder. His defense was working toward a conviction of being an accessory after the fact.